Next. Most of the time I'm just perplexed. I don't know. The path I'm running on is a perfectly lined path of white stones and gravel, and I'm just running on it. And if I were looking at this from the air, it's just like a quilt. Everything is just a series of these little gravel paths with these white stones, and I'm rushing along. And so I'm running along my path, around the corner, and I'm still not sure how I did it. I rounded the corner, and there they were, these stupid 18-year-olds. Their heads are mowed down to a quarter-inch stubble of a wino's beard. Back of each head is red. The sun, where the sun hits it, the hair no longer protects it, and the baseball cap is never going to protect it. And some of these heads, they're big and bulbous and round, and there's little bits of folds of flesh and scars and nastiness, and I look just like this, except for the fact that I am tall, spindly body with these black form-rimmed glasses. You learn to become familiar with heads. The Neanderthal folds of skin, the really big head meets a bull neck, the myriads of scars crisscrossing these several others, beads of sweat rolling down to the white t-shirt below. The Nash, my buddy, had grown up in Philadelphia. I once pointed to one of his, telling me how the guy he was fighting with had used a board, and there was a nail in it. And the impact of the board left a 2x4 hanging from the side of his head. Typical guys you meet in these kind of scenarios. And I'm sitting here in this group of people, and I'm standing in line and not so happy. I only desire to be left alone. Drill Sergeant Sanders says, "Whose bags are these?" I look over so slightly over to the left, glance over, these green poplin, bright brand new, crisp fatigues, and I say, "Those are my bags, Drill Sergeant." I just became the first person to make the first mistake on the first day of basic training. Everything that everyone had ever told me about basic training could be simplified down to one idea: blend in. Roster number 18, get those bags upstairs where the rest of the bags are and get right back down here. He turned to the platoon. Well, I can't really say what he said because this isn't the proper venue for that, but where one F's up things, everyone else takes the punishment. Everybody drop. I ran up the stairs 2 at a time, sense of dread pulling my stomach inside itself. I arrived outside sick and stood in front of the Drill Sergeant Sanders with my hands stuffed in the small of my back ramrod straight. And I guess I should describe Drill Sergeant Sanders here. He's kind of a beady little Cajun guy he has those dead kind of eyes that you only get in the stuffed animals. And he's looking at me like a king cobra on cocaine.
Oh my
Just
God.
twitching, and I am not happy. So he said to me, "Make a worm trial." And he said, "You don't know what a worm trial is," because I'm sitting there looking perplexed. And he says, "You just get your belly down in the earth and you pull yourself along. And when you get to the other side of the building, You'll have made a worm trail. So, I began along the ground. I'm dragging myself. I grab. See, and everywhere else in Georgia, the earth is this lovely reddish brown. Here, the ground, I was dragging myself over, was a pale yellow, chalky, almost talc fine dust, and it's ground up with a gravel in a nice little combination of about 3 inches deep. And I'm pulling myself through that. And I have to say, I had just collected a bunch of quarters in my pocket, and I have my pocket full because I'm going to make a phone call. So I'm going along, pulling myself through this gravel, and I know I can feel it grinding into my leg as I'm going. I pull deep in my left pocket, and the quarters are wedging themselves against the side of my leg, and they're grinding in. I hear the languid rhythm of the drill sergeant's cadence, as if the speaker was infinitely bored, but would keep up as long as he was forced to. I pull, and I think how 6 months ago, stretched out on my father's window seat, bathed in the yellow light, reading Conrad Lorenz, I think about Conrad Lorenz said about the pecking order, and I think I'm in trouble. As around the last quarter of the building, a 3x3 inch hole has trued its way through my pants, and 40 guys are choking in the dust. I find my place in the melee, and just about that point, a black combat boot hits me in the head, on the forehead hard, and I think about Phil Hartman's news radio comment right now. He always tells these stories about the horrible things that happened to him, and he says, good times, good times. And that is the military for you. Thank you very much.